Buckle up, space fans, because today we're launching a deep dive into a mission that's blown past every expectation. Voyager.
Voyager 1 and 2, yeah.
You got it. These probes have been sending back secrets from the cosmos for over 40 years.
It's wild, right? Launched in 77
Disco-era tech.
with a planned lifespan of 5 years. And they're still going. Voyager 1 is over 23 billion kilometers away. Interstellar space.
Talk about exceeding expectations. But it's not just about distance, right? These probes gave us a front row seat to the outer solar system.
A grand tour. Jupiter's swirling storms. Saturn's rings.
Didn't they change how we pictured those rings entirely?
Completely. Voyager 1 showed us thousands of individual ringlets, all with their own quirks. And those shepherd moons, tiny moons, keeping the rings in line with our gravity. Before that, we had no clue.
It's like finding out your favorite band has a whole secret album. But out of all the stops on this cosmic road trip, Voyager 2 is the ultimate sightseer, right?
Absolutely. It's the only probe to visit both Uranus and Neptune up close. Revealed Uranus spins on its side. How weird is that?
Talk about a planetary tilt.
At Neptune, Voyager 2 showed us the Great Dark Spot, a storm system so huge it could swallow Earth whole.
These probes were like the first interstellar paparazzi, snapping pics of planetary celebs. But those glamour shots were just the beginning. They pushed further, right to the edge of where the sun's influence ends, and their own design limits.
It's mind-blowing, honestly.
Yeah.
1970 technology, billions of kilometers traveled. Talk about durability.
They just don't build them like they used to, huh? So what's the secret sauce, their fountain of youth? How are they still kicking after all this time?
Well, for one, they're built like tanks. Redundant systems, super robust. These engineers knew what they were doing. Plus, they've got a long-lasting power source, a radioisotope thermoelectric generator, or RTG.
Catchy name. What's an RTG? Some kind of super-powered space battery?
Basically, it converts heat from decaying plutonium into electricity. Think of it like a tiny nuclear reactor keeping the lights on out there in the void.
That's surprisingly efficient.
Yeah.
But even with a nuclear-powered heart, keeping these probes going after 40 years can't be easy, can it?
You're telling me managing their power is like playing cosmic chess. But each move takes hours to play out because, well, distance.
Billions of kilometers, yeah. You can't just send a quick email.
Exactly. The team back on Earth has had to make some tough calls, turning off instruments, putting parts of the spacecraft to sleep.
It's like remote surgery on a billion-kilometer-long string. But instead of a patient, it's a spaceship. So what kind of instruments have they had to sacrifice? And how do they even decide what stays on and what goes off?
Well, some things are non-negotiable, like the instruments for talking to us back here on Earth and for knowing where they are. Navigation is kind of important, right?
Can't argue with that. Lost in space is not a good look.
Exactly. But other instruments, they've had to make compromises. Like Voyager 1's camera. It took that iconic pale blue dot photo back in 1990.
Earth as a tiny speck. I get chills just thinking about it.
Right. Iconic. But after that, they turned it off. Figured they could get more science out of using that power elsewhere.
Makes sense, prioritize the data, but it's still a tough call. It's not like they can just turn it back on if they stumble across, I don't know, a cosmic art installation or something.
Dear Earth, send more power. Aliens made a giant space sculpture and we need pics.
Exactly. But speaking of pale blue dart, that image really highlighted just how vast space is and how sheltered we are within our little corner of it, wrapped up in the sun's protective bubble.
The heliosphere, right?
Like a cosmic force field. The sun's magnetic field and this constant wind of charged particles, it blasts out. It shields us from a lot of nasty stuff out there in the galaxy.
Okay, so it's our solar system's own personal bodyguard, deflecting those interstellar punches. So when these probes went interstellar, they were beyond that bodyguard's reach.
Exactly. Crossed a boundary called the heliopause. Inside, you're bathed in the sun's influence. Outside, it's the interstellar medium, uncharted territory.
So like stepping out of a cozy cabin into a blizzard, minus the freezing and the wind chill, hopefully. But yeah, whole different environment. And Voyager 1, it gave us our first taste of that environment back in 2012.
What happened? Did it send back an interstellar weather report?
Pretty much. Its instruments noticed this sharp change. Solar wind particles, gone. Cosmic rays from outside our solar system, way up. That's how we knew for sure. Voyager 1, humanity's scout, had entered interstellar space.
What a moment. Talk about pushing boundaries. But even then, they didn't stop messing with our understanding of things. That whole thing with the shape of the heliosphere.
You mean how it's not a perfect sphere at all?
Right. I thought it was like a giant beach ball, but it's more dented.
Yeah. The interstellar wind, it pushes back on the heliosphere, kind of like...
Like when you squeeze a balloon in the middle and it bulges out the sides.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's dynamic, constantly being shaped by forces we're only just beginning to understand.
The universe, always keeping us humble. But the Voyager missions, they weren't just about sending back data, were they? They also packed a little something for anyone, or anything, out there listening. Those golden records are the ultimate message in a bottle, right?
Talk about a long shot. But yeah, each probe has one. A 12-inch gold-plated copper disc full of Earth sounds and images, just in case.
Imagine being an alien race billions of years from now and stumbling upon that. What a trip. But seriously, what's actually on them?
Oh, all sorts. Greetings in 55 languages, music from around the world. They even threw in some nature sounds. Whale songs, thunder.
A greatest hits of Earth. Did they include any disco? Catchy tunes for our interstellar neighbors.
I'm not sure about disco. But hey, maybe aliens love a good beat too. They also included pictures, encoded in analog form. Stuff like human anatomy, diagrams of DNA, pictures of people eating, playing music, even a map showing where Earth is.
I just hope they included a really, really long life battery with that map, just in case those aliens get lost on their way to Earth for a visit. Lost in space takes on a whole new meaning. But jokes aside, there's something incredibly profound about sending those messages out into the void.
Absolutely, especially that pale blue dot image they included. Seeing Earth like that, it makes you realize how fragile and precious our little world is.
A tiny speck of dust in the grand cosmic scheme. And yet, that speck is home to every story, every invention, every living thing we know of. It really puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
It does, and I think that's part of why the Voyager missions still resonate so strongly, even after all these years. They remind us of the power of exploration, of the sheer scale of what's out there, and just how lucky we are to be along for the ride.
Speaking of rides, this one's coming to an end, at least for now. These probes might be going strong, but they can't outrun time forever, can they?
Sadly, that's true. Even with nuclear batteries and some seriously hardcore engineering, even Voyager has its limits.
So, the clock is ticking. How long before these whispers from the void go silent?
Best guess right now. We might get lucky and squeeze another decade out of them, maybe into the 2030s.
Wow, 50 years. A half-century exploring the cosmos? Not bad for a couple of robots?
Talk about exceeding your warranty. But yeah, that plutonium powering the RTG, it's got a half-life and eventually not enough juice to keep even the most basic systems running.
So there's a chance, however slim, that these probes, launched when we were kids, could still be out there, drifting silently between the stars, long after we're gone. Humanity's silent ambassadors. That's a powerful thought.
It really is just these tiny specks carrying our music, our greetings, outliving us all. Makes you think about legacy.
It does. They changed how we see our place in the universe. Voyager showed us wonders we never imagined, pushed the boundaries of what we thought possible. Their legacy, it's immense.
And hopefully it's just the beginning. They've inspired generations of scientists, dreamers, that spark of curiosity. That's what keeps us exploring.
And who knows, maybe, just maybe, Voyager will bump into someone else out there. Some other civilization, also curious about the universe. Can you imagine being the alien who stumbles across this little time capsule from Earth?
Talk about a first contact story. They pop open that golden record and bam! Chuck Berry blasts out across the bridge of their spaceship.
I bet aliens love rock and roll. But seriously, that potential to connect with something, someone so utterly different, so far away, it's mind-blowing.
That sense of wonder, the sheer scale of it all, that's the Voyager legacy right there.
Absolutely. Well said. And on that note, I think we've reached our journey's end for now. A billion-mile deep dive into the story of Voyager, a mission that redefined exploration and continues to inspire.
A testament to human ingenuity and that endless thirst for knowledge.
Couldn't have put it better myself. This is your host, signing off for now. But keep looking up, keep asking those big questions, because the universe is full of incredible stories just waiting to be discovered. Until next time.